genetics, some fundamentals regarding its basics. Okay, that would be the new chapter that we will be starting with today. As the name suggests here, genetics, that means we are talking about this branch of science from where there will be information being exchanged, how there is passing of the information from one generation to another. Are there any laws that are followed by the genes or the chromosomes for the passing of the genetic information from the generation to the next generation? Then for this topic, we have to first look into who was the pioneer in genetics. Who was it that started extensive experiments and collection of data from these experiments, compiling them, calculating the results, and then coming to the conclusions. So all this pioneer work was done by a person by the name Gregor Mendel, who was born in a very simple family of farmers. So he studied maths, he studied science in University of Vienna, and then he wanted to be a teacher, but he could not pass those exams which he had to clear for being a teacher. So he came back to the monastery, he became an abbot, and then he started working extensively on garden pea that was grown in the garden of his monastery. He did extensive experimentation, and then he compiled his data and came up with certain results, conclusions, thereby coming to the fact what we call now famously known as the 3 laws of inheritance that were given by Mendel, almost universally seen in all the organisms. So Gregor Mendel and his experiments and the rest of the things we'll look into by the PPTs that I have prepared for you, and also as I do every day, I'll be using stylus to explain different things on the screen to you people. If you have any doubt, you will write down and then I will clear your queries. Okay, so for this Gregor Mendel, who was that we have with our parents, as well as the slight differences that we see from each other, from the parents, between the parents and the offsprings, that also is studied, and these are based on certain laws which are helping us to understand how this transmission of genetic information is taking place. So we look into this genetics, study of transmission of body features from parents to offsprings, as well as the laws which are related to such transmissions. Okay, then for this genetics further, as for Gregor Mendel, as I was talking about, the Austrian monk, he came up with the next one regarding the garden pea, as I was telling you, garden pea by the scientific name Pisum sativum. This is important, Pisum sativum, scientific name of the garden pea, which he used extensively in the monastery, and he used these pea plants which were of some 28,000 in number, and his experimentation, his explanations, his data collection he kept on doing for almost 7 years. Okay, and then he even used certain techniques like artificial fertilization, where we had seen in artificial fertilization the stamen, from the anther of the stamen, the pollen grains are transferred using the brush onto the stigma of another flower. So since human is doing this work, this is said to be artificial pollination followed by artificial fertilization. So he did extensive work on the garden pea, that is Pisum sativum. So this Pisum sativum, the scientific name you must remember. Also you must write, as I had taught you to write it in a scientific manner, where we use certain rules. Okay, so Pisum sativum was the garden pea which was used by Gregor Mendel. Now, as he used these and he worked extensively for 7 years on garden pea, following various combinations of the flowers, of the height of the pea plant, so on and so forth. Many characters he took to find out the offsprings, what they were forming, and then coming up with certain conclusions, where then he came up with a fact that there is, he said, according to him, there was some factor, there was something in the DNA, in the chromosome, which was carrying the information, and this was passing on the information from one generation to another. This thing which he felt was there, he called it as factor. Okay, he said there are factors in the genetic material which pass on the information from one generation to another. Later these factors were termed and coined as genes, which we know in the present day context. So he knew there was some factor which was carrying the information for the offsprings, and these informations were passed on by the factors. Later it was known that these factors were nothing but the genes. So he was so Gregor Mendel was pioneer of doing extensive research experimentation on the garden pea, that is Pisum sativum, coming up with the famous laws of his, what are called as laws of inheritance. Laws of inheritance. Since he was the one who was pioneer, Gregor Mendel is said to be therefore father of genetics. Okay, Gregor Mendel is known as father of genetics. We have to remember this well, that Gregor Mendel is the father of genetics. Then, as this came forward, let's look into some of the terms that we will come across while we'll be looking into this topic of genetics. One commonly used term by us is heredity. So, what is heredity? Let us look into that. Now, certain characters are inherited. That means from one generation to another, the characteristic features are passed on. So, this passing on of certain inherited characteristics from one generation to another is called as heredity. Sorry. We say, like in other context also, we are using the word inheritance to get from the previous generation or from the much earlier generations. So same way here also, what is happening? The physical features, the intelligence, even how a person is looking, whatever it is, height, shape of the eye, color, etc. Everything is passed on from their parents, from the factors that are present in the parents, which we now are the genes. So, passing on of inherited characteristics from one generation to another is called as heredity. Okay, now let's see some of the examples, the characteristics that can be of hereditary nature. That means they are passed on from one generation to the other generation. For example, the hair, whether the hair will be curly or the hair will be straight in case of humans. Okay?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, we are unable to see the slides.
You're not able to see any of the slides?
Ma'am, most of the students.
Ma'am, just one slide is showing in the screen.
Yes, ma'am.
That
Yes,
one?
ma'am.
Which
Ma'am.
one?
Ma'am,
the
not
first
enough
slide.
storage space.
In which the
Chapter
genetics is
name.
written.
It is written genetics,
That's
some
all.
basic fundamentals.
That's all you can see?
Yes,
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 ma'am.
ma'am.
Now?
No,
The
No,
other
ma'am.
one?
No, ma'am.
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am. You're not able to see?
No, miss.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, I'll just look into that. What has happened? In the meantime, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
The voice is clear.
Okay.
Screen
Okay. Only that screen is not showing you the other slides which I'm showing. Okay,
Yes,
so this
ma'am.
much you have. Okay. So by the time I'm restoring it, let me talk about heredity once again. Heredity, as I was telling you, is transmission of genetically based characteristics from parents to offsprings. Okay, heredity, as we know, means where they will be passing on the information or passing of any asset. So here, whatever characteristics are there in the parents, they are passed on to the offspring, to the children. Can you see now?
No, ma'am.
Okay, wait.
No,
I'm
ma'am.
starting.
No, ma'am.
Okay,
No,
I'll
ma'am.
be starting. Yes. So, can you see?
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
What is it? Heredity you can see now? I'm showing.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So I was okay. So, I was talking about this feature regarding heredity, the passing of certain characteristics that are present in the parents. The parents, which are then passed on from one to the next generation. And when I say offspring, it means the next generation children, so to say. Okay, so here heredity means passing on of certain inherited characters from one generation to the next generation. Okay, then let's see some of the characteristics, and before that let's look into one more fact, some of the more terms. Can you see the next slide? Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Great.
Yes.
Then, okay, so some technical point. So human beings, if we see them as species, okay, they share main characteristics or traits. Main characteristics or traits. I'll be explaining these terms also among themselves, which identify the species Homo sapiens. Okay, what I mean is that human beings, whether we see of any part of the world, of any tribe, all the human beings will have main characteristics that will be similar in all. Okay, but when we look into individual tribes or people of different parts of the world, there will be seen slight differences or the race. Got it? Some characteristics are same or common for all the human beings, which identifies them from other organisms, right? But within the human population, you pick up the human population of a tribe or some race or some people living in certain part of the world, and you compare the members in the population, they will show slight differences. Okay, there will be differences seen in the physical features of the humans that are living in different parts of the world. Still
Ma'am?
more simpler. Yes, one more example, it will be more clear then. If you take the smallest unit of the population, that is family, just look amongst the members of the family. We can just imagine or take examples of our own family where we are not identical or exact copies of our parents. We are not identical or exact copies of our parents. That we are not. We are showing slight differences in our body features as compared to our parents or as compared to our siblings. That means brothers or sisters. Okay. So these slight differences that we see amongst the members of a family or amongst the individuals of the same population, these slight differences that we see amongst the members of a family or a race, these differences are called as variations. Okay, these differences, small differences among the individuals are called variations. Clear? Variations. These are the slightest of differences which makes us look slightly different from our family members or from the individuals of other race or tribe. They will be called as variations. Clear? Variations.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, good. Then let's look into the two words we were discussing, that is characters and the traits. Okay. Now any inheritable feature is a character. Inheritable, that means that will be passed on from the parent or from one generation to the offspring or to the next generation. So these features, as they are passed on from one generation to the other, are called as therefore inheritable. So any inheritable feature is called a character, and alternative forms of a character are called traits. Let us see this as an example so it will be clear to you. If I talk about a character, so I was telling you, for example, in humans, let us look into ourselves only. In case of us, we humans, if we see the shape of the hair, okay, shape of the hair. Now when I talk about shape of the hair, this is the character, the inheritable feature. And alternative forms will be what? Some of you will have curly hair while some will have straight hair. So we have two forms of the shape of the hair, that is curly or straight. So these alternative forms of a character are called as traits. Clear? The features that will be passed on from one generation to the other are called as character, and the alternative forms of a character are called as trait, where I am giving you example from our world only. Some of us have curly hair, but when you will observe your parents or grandparents, someone will be having curly hair in your family. But there will be some who will have straight hair. In their family, when they will notice, they will see that either any one of their parents or both the parents or grandparents or someone in the family will be having the straight hair. So these alternative forms, that means curly or straight hair, two varieties, these are called as traits for a character. Now let us see few more examples in case of humans where these are the inheritable features which are passed on from one generation to the other. Very simple, as I was talking about the hair. If we see the shape of the hair, either curly or straight. As for the eye, eye color, if I choose eye color, So this will be the character because it is an inheritable feature. So character is the eye color, and the alternative forms, that means the traits will be the colors. Some will have brown color, some will have black color, some will have those green or hazel color, some will have blue color of the iris of the eye. So these alternative forms of the character are called as traits. Okay, then next let's see regarding this height. Some will be tall heighted, some will be of medium height, some will be short heighted. So that also depends on the family members, the parents or their parents. So it comes from one generation to the other. Same way for intelligence also, for some of the talents, like we see some in some of the families from one generation to the other, that the members of the family are good singers or good dancers. Even as in case of these dimples, which I am taking another example, the depressions in the cheek or in the chin. So these depressions, what we call as the dimples, are also inheritable features. Some will have deeper dimples, some will have long indentations. So depending on the features, there will be different traits also. Okay, so this is for examples and to understand what are characters and what are traits. Okay, now for the humans, there are certain inheritable characters and their traits, where few examples I have taken, like the color of the eye I have told you. Some are having brown eye, some are having black eye or blue eye. As for the eyebrow, some are heavy, bushy or thin eyebrow. For the tongue rolling, the rolling of a tongue and U shape when they are sticking out the tongue, so that is for the tongue rolling. Then skin color, normal, dark, so on and so forth. Okay, some will have lips also as thin or thick. Now all these are the characteristics that are inherited from the parents. As you can see, the last one I am showing here is that of the blood group. Some will be Rh positive, some will be Rh negative. Now this solely depends on the parents. If any one parent is having Rh negative and the other parent is having Rh positive, so the offspring, the children who will be born, they can have positive, any one children, or another children can have negative. Same way, if the parents are having, for example, blood group O positive or A, then the children will have the blood group either O positive or A positive. What the parent is having, that blood group only will be there of the children. So this way we see that these are inheritable characters. Now for the examples, as I was talking about for the characters, one more example is there, that is for the traits. Some will be having right-handedness or left-handedness. Some will be, and this will be coming from the parents only, the characteristic feature. Okay, then all of us know about the chromosomes, which we had studied in the first chapter, for that, in which we had seen how the chromosomes are, where I had told you that if we talk about the chromosomes, they will be made up of two arms in case of the condensed state, thick and condensed state. That is, if the two arms of the chromosome are there, and if this is my finger, which is joining the two arms of the chromosomes, called as chromatids. The point of joining we know is called as centromere. Okay. Now these chromosomes are coming from the parents. One chromosome coming from the father, another chromosome coming from the mother. Now these chromosomes, which are identical in their shape, in their size, in the genes that they carry. Okay. For example, if one of the chromosome is carrying a gene for height, the chromosome from the other parent coming will also have the gene for height on it, and these chromosomes will be present together. So we call these chromosomes that are identical in their shape, size and the genes they carry as homologous chromosomes. Homo meaning same. Okay. So homologous chromosomes will align themselves together. That means they will be placed together close to each other. This way, the homologous chromosome pairs will be there in an organism, and for each species of the population, there will be the fixed number of chromosomes. That also we had seen that how in the case of humans, we carry 23 pairs of chromosomes. Okay, 23 pairs, that means 46 chromosomes. We have this roundworm, what we call as Ascaris. It carries in its nucleus only 2 chromosomes. Okay. Then if we see the domestic cat or the tiger, they carry 38 chromosomes. So different organisms carry different number of chromosomes, and for that species it will be the fixed number of chromosomes. And that is how we see in our body. We pick up any human being and study its his or her chromosome number, it will turn out to be 46 only, or 23 pairs of chromosomes. It is fixed for each of the species. There are some insects who carry more than 1000 chromosomes. It is a fact. Okay. So coming back to this chromosomes, we have talked about the homologous chromosome. One chromosome coming from the father, pairs of chromosomes. As we talk about humans, for example, we had seen during cell division that there are 2 types of cell divisions. One is mitosis for the somatic cells, and the other one that we talked about was meiosis. That takes place where? Meiosis? In which cells of the body? Only one
In
type
the
of cells?
sexuals,
Yes.
reproductive cells.
Sex, yes, in the reproductive cells or the sex cells. The other name I told you was allosomes. Okay. So in the allocosomes or allosomes, this meiosis is taking place, where we had seen that one set comes from one chromosome from the mother, one from the father, and then they are splitting and thereby resulting in 4 daughter cells that are having haploid number of chromosomes. So what happens here, when we talk about the autosomes and sex chromosomes, in case of humans, there are total 23 pairs of chromosomes, where the first 22 chromosomes, the first 22 chromosome pairs are called as autosomes, and the last pair of chromosome is called the sex chromosome, because this last pair of chromosome decides the sex of the developing child in the mother's uterus, in which if both the chromosomes are of the same nature, that is X chromosome and X chromosome, then the child that will be born will be a daughter. But if one chromosome is X chromosome, other chromosome is small one called as the Y chromosome, then the child born will be a male child. Okay, so first 22 pairs of chromosomes, chromosome 1, chromosome 2, that way up to 22. So they will be arranged, first 22 chromosomes as somatic chromosomes, or what we call as the body cell chromosomes other than the sex chromosomes, and the last pair is called as the sex chromosome, which decides the sex of the child, whether the child born will be a male child or a female child. If both the chromosomes are X chromosomes, then the child is said to be a female. If one is X, the other Y arm is always, the Y chromosome is very small. So this Y chromosome and the other one as X chromosome, then the child will be a male child. So this we will see in more detail also how this happens regarding the male, the decision of the male child whether born will be a male child or the female child after a few minutes. In the meantime, if you have any doubt regarding heredity or Gregor Mendel being called the father of genetics or variation or characters, you can ask me, or homologous chromosome, whatever we have done today. If any doubt, you can ask me. Yes?
Ma'am,
Who's that?
so right-handedness and left-handedness is an inheritance from parents.
Yes, but may I know who is that?
Shreyansh.
Who's speaking? Shreyansh? Yes, very much. The genes are there in the cells which decide whether a child will be a right-handed or a left-handed person, where it is even more detailed study to decide that we will study when laws of inheritance I will explain to you, because there then we have to also see what is dominant, what is recessive. So when we will go into all those details, it will be more clear how from the genes that are present in the parents, it is decided whether the child will be a right-handed person or a left-handed person. It is also an inherited characters only. Even the skin color, the color vision, the rolling of the tongue. Rolling of the tongue, yes, I wanted to show you this one. Some are able to do this. When you stick out your tongue, for example, this is the tongue. Then if you stick it out, I am not able to, I am not a roller. So when you stick out the tongue, you can fold the tongue this way. You can fold the tongue this way. Some are able to do it. And that is dominant character. Some are not able to. When I stick out my tongue this way, I cannot fold it. I cannot fold it lengthwise. So I am a non-roller. Whether it is whatever physical feature is there in the body are basically decided by the genes which are inherited from the parents, and the parents have inherited from their parents. Okay, and as for the autosomes, as I was talking about the chromosomes, what is done, how do we come to know about these chromosomes? What is done when in the cell nucleus the chromosome is visible, the most clearest, very thick condensed form during the anaphase stage. So that time what is done in the lab, a photograph of these chromosomes are taken by a high power light microscope. Okay, and then these photographs are then cut, and the chromosomes are arranged artificially according to their size and shape on a chart. This is called as karyotype. Okay, so for this then these arrangement of the chromosomes will be, the first one will be the largest chromosome, then the size will keep on decreasing from chromosome 1 to chromosome 22, which will be the smallest. Okay, so size wise, shape wise, the chromosomes are arranged. Largest one, tallest one as the chromosome 1, and the next one as chromosome 2, still smaller chromosome 3. So this way, in decreasing order of their shape and size, the chromosomes are arranged one after the other. The pairs are arranged one after the other for up to the 22nd chromosome. The last chromosome, X chromosome, XX or XY condition is visible, so that one is arranged as the 23rd chromosome. Okay, someone was having this doubt how to arrange them, so they are arranged according to their size. largest being the first one, chromosome number 1. Okay, any other query regarding chromosome or the heredity, genetics or anything? Whatever physical features, characters we see in our body are inherited from our parents, and they have inherited from their parents. So from ancestors onwards, the genes are passed on from one generation to another. Okay, any other query? Anything else which you have not understood? No? Rest is okay. So don't forget the name of Austrian monk Gregor Mendel is the father of genetics. Then on which plant he did his experiments, that is very important to remember. It can be asked. That is garden pea, scientific name Pisum sativum. Okay, so as the time is limited, I would like to wind up for the day. As the regular timings, I'll be sending you the notes, assignment and the worksheet. Please do them regularly, and for other subjects also. And as I had sent you the timetable, there is one period by the name activity, where the concerned teacher will be asking you to do perform certain activities which can be of any type, where you should take part. Every one of you should take part. Then the best students, the ones who perform well, maybe will be given the well done card. Okay, so that to earn that well done card, you have to participate and participate till your best. It's an activity based period, so I expect everyone to be present there. It's important. That will help you. Okay, so for the time being, I would like to sign off. Stay safe, stay at home and study. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.